What's up guys, Peter here from Reviews on Anything, coming at you today in bright orange, which is not only the color of my native country Holland, but also of this men's Velez jacket from a company called Paramo. Now Paramo makes all kinds of outdoor gear, and this jacket in particular is quite a high-end model, designed for anything outdoors, from cycling to climbing to hiking, designed to keep you dry when it's raining, but also dry on the inside when you're active and sweating. Obviously we're inside, so this is not the place to test it. We're going to go outside into the rain, into nature, and see how this jacket actually performs. Alright, as you can see, we are outside right now. Pardon the noise from the road back there. That's actually the road leading back to my car. I've been on a walking route for about 45-50 minutes now. Nice brisk pace, of course, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's certainly not dry. It's not full on rain, but it's a very heavy drizzle. Which is actually an environment where this jacket feels right at home, because when it's pouring rain, who really wants to go outside unless you really have to? The other important thing to notice here is that it is not freezing cold. I reckon it's about 10 degrees. It's end of October here in Germany, so it's not full on winter yet, but certainly not summer anymore either. Which is also where this jacket feels right at home. It's not a full on Arctic Explorer jacket, minus temperatures. It's just getting too cold for just this jacket. And obviously you have to combine this jacket with some kind of activity, whether that be hiking, like I just did, cycling, anything that sort of keeps your body temperature up already. And if you really want this jacket to sit and wait for the bus when it's minus 10 in the city, this is probably not the jacket for you. Now you see how the jacket looks on me, with a backpack in this case. Obviously I got to show you the hood as well. It's a nice solid hood, also with nice bit of fabric inside for an extra bit of ventilation and moisture soaking. You can see that there's a ridge here in the hood that keeps it sort of up. Whether you're wearing a helmet or not, that doesn't really matter. So it's nice, sits tight on your head, but when you do wear a helmet, it sort of fits around the helmet as well without any trouble. Now obviously it's a bit silly to stand out here in the rain and give you the full rundown on this jacket, obviously because I have to hold the camera and it's a bit hard to show you all the features. So let's take it back inside and zoom in on a few specific things, most notably the fabric that make this jacket so special. Alright, so we're back inside with the jacket, and I wanted to go over a few of the features because there's actually quite a lot to show around this jacket that really make this jacket what it is. The first thing that you've probably noticed already is that the fabric has different colors, the darker orange and the lighter orange. Now the darker orange is around all the areas of the jacket that sort of get a lot of movement. So you get it in the neck, you get it around the bottom where you might strap on the belt of a backpack, and you get it around the ends of the cuffs, sleeves rather. This is a slightly thinner fabric that actually allows you for greater movement in the jacket. It doesn't do any worse in sort of water repellent and perspiration management that we'll get to in a minute. But it is slightly thinner, so it's much easier to move it around, which is actually quite a nice touch and quite smart that they've included that in the jacket. With the parts on the sleeves, obviously this is used to be rolled up. When you're getting warm, one of the first things you do is that you slide your sleeves back up, so that is actually quite nice. And there in the bottom, you can see that the whole bottom part is that darker, thinner fabric, so that makes it very easy when you're wearing a big backpack with a waist belt, for example, that it doesn't start sliding around and sort of getting uncomfortable. Now the second thing that's important about this jacket is heat management. We'll get to the actual fabrics in a minute, but you can imagine when you're out and about, hiking, climbing, doing anything that this jacket is designed for, you sweat and you produce a lot of heat from your body inside the jacket. Not everybody produces the same amount of heat obviously, and obviously temperatures outside will vary a lot as well. So it is important that the jacket offers a lot of flexibility when it comes to heat management. Now there are zippers here under the sleeves, hope you can see it, that you can open up, that have a bit of ventilation going on there. And there are pockets here on the front that can be opened up as well. Same thing with extra ventilation. These pockets on the front actually double as pockets that you can actually put something into. So there's a secondary zipper inside that reveals the actual storage compartment. This is big enough for anything from a map to a phone, compass, GPS equipment and so on. So it's actually a double layer system. Obviously, when it's pouring rain out and you start opening this up, the inside will get wet from the rain because it's exposed. So that's something to be careful about. But because there are 4 zippers, so one under each arm and one on each side, that you can use to regulate your ventilation. You get a lot of flexibility when it comes to how much ventilation you want, also depending on the weather and on your activity. You can be really sort of fine-tuning how much cool air you want to have coming in, which is actually quite nice, because a jacket with just one piece of ventilation or non-ventilation at all doesn't offer that flexibility at all, and this jacket does, so that's actually a job really well done. Now, before we get to the fabric, which is actually the main feature of this jacket, there's a few features that really make no sense to name features. The first of all, and I'll quote from the included flyer, is an internal loop in the right-hand chest pocket to attach keys, compass or GPS. That sounds like a good idea, but if you open the right chest pocket, I hope you can see it, this is the loop. So yeah, it's not a feature, it's barely a loop, to be honest. Either include a proper loop that you can really attach something to, or just don't put it in at all. This is nothing. Now, the second pretty pointless feature is the reflective flashes front and rear. I actually showed this in the beginning of the video already. These are the reflective flashes. You can barely see them. There's two in the front, and there's a few here on the back of the hood as well. If you want to put reflective stripes on the jacket, put proper reflective stripes on it, not something the size of a penny that you can barely see. Especially with a backpack on, or with any kind of fold in the fabric, you can't see them. So these two things are just listing features for the sake of listing features. They're not really features, and I actually think that is a pretty poor execution of what could have been potentially interesting features. Like I said, either include a proper reflective stripe and a proper strap, or don't include it at all. I don't really understand why they did that, especially in such a high-end jacket. Now, the jacket itself is of course one thing, but the production process around the jacket is actually something important as well. Paramo prides itself in being an ethical manufacturer, meaning that these jackets are not made in some kind of dark sweatshop somewhere in South Asia. These are actually manufactured with high ethical standards, so that's actually quite nice. That combined with the production materials and the production process in collaboration with Nikwax, which obviously has a very high environmental standard, means that this jacket is actually preserving the nature that we all love to enjoy so much, especially wearing this jacket. And last but not least, it's recyclable. So when the jacket is not used anymore, it can actually be recycled and be used for other things. So they've really covered the whole circle when it comes to building a product that is actually to be enjoyed in the outdoors without destroying the actual thing that we're trying to enjoy here. So that's actually quite nice that a brand that is so focused on outdoor clothing actually keeps that in mind and makes that whole process of manufacturing their garments so responsible actually when it comes to saving our planet. Now, the main feature and the main selling point of this jacket is of course the fabric. It's the Nikwax Analogy fabric, so it's made in collaboration with Nikwax, which is the golden standard when it comes to waterproofing and breathable fabrics. I can sit here and talk for 25 minutes about all the technical details of this fabric and all the technical research that goes into making the jacket as good as it is. But that is something you should read for yourself on the Paramo or on the Nikwax websites, because there's plenty more information there available already than I can convey to you here in this short video. But the moral of the story is that they've looked at how animals that live outdoors obviously deal with heat from the inside and water coming in from the outside when it's raining. And they've actually mimicked that in the fabric. So there are several layers that deal with rain directly falling on the jacket and getting rid of that, but also dealing with the heat and the condensation that comes from the inside. And altogether the result is actually quite amazing. Like I showed you earlier in the video, I was walking around outside, and I'm not a small guy, I'm over 200 pounds. So I produce a lot of heat even when just walking at a brisk pace. And the jacket actually does a fantastic job in keeping the rain out. You saw that it was not pouring down, but certainly heavy drizzle. So the rain stayed out, and I was able to regulate my body temperature inside without overheating, both with the ventilation options, but mainly thanks to the amazing fabric. Obviously, you got to keep the fabric in good shape, and for that we have two Nikwax products. This is the TX Direct wash-in, which you actually use to clean the jacket, because it's going to get dirty when you're out and about, of course. And we have the Tech Wash, which is something you use to keep the jacket waterproof, because after so many sessions, obviously you want to waterproof it again to make sure it keeps performing at optimal levels. It does a really great job. You know, all technical details aside, what you really care about is that you stay dry. And this jacket actually does a fantastic job as far as that goes. So it is really designed, I think, by and for people that are outdoors and really active outdoors. And it actually, you know, does exactly what you want it to do when it comes to keeping you dry, both from the outside and the inside. Alright, conclusion time. What do we make of the men's Velez jacket from Paramo with the Nikwax Analogy fabric? First and foremost, this is a functional jacket, and I think as far as functionality goes, 10 points for sure. You buy this jacket to stay dry when you're active, and I think it does a great job there. It doesn't really matter when you're hiking, biking, climbing, you know, anything. This jacket will do exactly like it promises to do. A few things like the features that I mentioned that aren't really features, like a little loop. You're not buying this jacket for those little things. You know, there's other brands and things out there that you can get. You're buying this jacket for functionality, and as far as that goes, I think you can't really go wrong with this, regardless of the color, obviously. And then obviously you're not going to really care about a little loop or a little reflective stripe here and there either. That said, 375 euro is, here in Germany, is a lot of money for a jacket. But I think that when you're sort of in a space where you're doing so many things outdoors and that you require so much performance from your gear, that this is definitely you know, a jacket that is worth its money. Thanks to the technology together with Nikwax, it does, you know, keep you dry, which is what this jacket is all about. And I especially like the fact that Paramo and Nikwax together also care about the environment and care about ethical manufacturing, which in the end, you know, provides us and our future generations with that great outdoors and provides us with the ability to keep enjoying that. And I think this jacket is a great example of how a jacket should be made, you know, especially in a space like this. I like it, it's a good jacket, I think it's worth the money if you are an outdoor enthusiast, and I think together with the Nikwax products and, you know, the Paramo jacket, you're getting a really good package that is definitely worth the investment. This is Peter from Reviews on Anything with a look at the men's Velez jacket. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you Paramo and Nikwax for providing us with the review unit. We really enjoyed it. Definitely check out whatever Paramo and Nikwax have to offer for you in terms of gear and waterproofing. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel, that helps us out a lot. And I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!